Sup gamers, Rainy Potato here to rank all the skills on the Hellion. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, and check out my Patreon in the description for early access to all my upcoming videos. Wicked Hack is her base single target melee attack, usable from the front 2 against the front 2 ranks. It does a base 48 damage, 6 to 10 on upgrade, along with an additional 50% damage on combo. In conjunction with her best path Ravager, this is a pretty hard-hitting base attack, and is part of the reason her base kit is so strong as a DPS. The relatively higher base damage and combo potential make this pretty elite scaling for such a low investment ability, and the relative range compared to other attacks make this a must-equip on even meme Hellion builds, like Carcass and Berserker. Definite slot in the universally useful tier. Iron Swan is her very specific rank 1 to rank 4 melee attack, again doing 48 damage, 6 to 10 on upgrade, this time also providing a combo token on upgrade. While this has the less overall output than Hack without the combo damage, this is an even more crucial skill for your Hellion, as it's the strongest direct damage dealing with rank 4 outside of skills that must be powered up like Meatball or Finale. This consistent, relatively high output is of course very strong in your standard fights, but is an absolute powerhouse in dealing with tough foes such as the Librarian and the back lung for the Act 2 boss. In fact, it's this skill that makes Hellion by far the best hero against the Act 2 boss, almost always securing a victory just by virtue of being in your party, assuming she's a Ravager path. It even retains utility on her stupid builds, not that they matter, and can slot in the OP tier. Barbaric Yawp is a front row to front row AoE debuff, ignoring and removing stealth and adding a weak token, adding 2 weak tokens on upgrade, while also stunning on combo. Using this skill also gives Hellion Winded, and has a 1 turn cooldown. On Carcass path, this also gives Hellion 2 taunt, and that is literally the only time you'll ever use this ability. It's completely worthless trash outside of Carcass path, which by itself is completely worthless trash. AoE weak just is something that rarely ever matters, certainly not at the expense of your best potential damage dealer getting winded. If you're interested in weak application, you generally are against a single powerful foe, and thus the AoE is worthless. The upgrade is a bit better, especially with some combo stun, but it's a wonky, slow setup that just isn't worth it. This is, however, a staple on Carcass path, of course, since you actually want to collect winter tokens and you don't care about damage. It's still not good, because nothing is good on Carcass, but it's at least an auto-equip. Even still, I toss it in the trash because it's not usable on real Hellion builds. If it bleeds a single target melee bleed attack, usable from ranks 2 to 3 to ranks 2 to 3. It does 2 to 4 damage, 3 to 5 on upgrade, as well as applying a 2-point bleed. On upgrade it does 3 bleed, and also consumes your combo tokens to get more res piercing, which actually makes the upgrade a huge downgrade. This is arguably the most pathetic attack in the game, a massive unnecessary downgrade from Darkest Dungeon 1, and something completely unequipable for any reason, even if you're running an inferior bleed Hellion comp, because it can't be used in conjunction with her better bleed skill, Bleed Out. Even if you're running bleed Hellion, you honestly just do more damage with a straight up hack, rather than this joke of a skill, unless you need to hit rank 3 for some reason, though this can hardly be considered hitting rank 3. Pathetic, unusable skill, easily goes in the trash tier behind even Yawp. Toe-to-toe is a back 3 to front 2 rank single target melee attack, doing 2 to 4 damage, 3 to 5 on upgrade, moving Hellion forward 1, immobilizing her, and also adding 2 taunt tokens. On upgrade it also removes all your winded tokens. This is a necessary equip on any damage Hellion, the only real Hellion build, and a priority upgrade, giving you an easy way to remove your winded, as well as do enough damage to check death's door and also some shuffle protection. Outside of this winded clear, which to be clear already makes this a top must-equip skill, the taunt is useful for any sort of tank Hellion build, such as Carcass, though you want to leave it unmastered on that path, and is also great shuffle protection like I said earlier, and also the immobilized can become useful in various scenarios, most notably the Harvest Child fight. There's rarely reason to leave this off your bar. It generally only happens if you can't spare an upgraded N1 for it. Easily slots in the universal useful tier behind Wicked Hack. Adrenaline Rush is a self-heal usable from any position. It becomes available under 33% max HP, has a 3-turn cooldown, and a use limit of 2. It removes Bleed and Winded, and immediately heals you for 20% max HP. In addition, you gain a 3-turn buff that will heal you an additional 20% every time you attack an enemy. Notably, this is 20% per enemy attacked, making AoE's massive full heals, and combat items also count as attacks, even if they miss or deal 0 damage. The upgrade removes all dots and makes the initial heal slightly stronger. This is an absurd skill, one of the best in the game and certainly the best self-sustain heal. It literally does it all. Winded clear, dot clear, emergency heal, keeps you alive for turns to come, and is very easily cheesable with AoE combat items. There's not a scenario where I won't equip this, it's just too powerful in every situation. Easily fits atop the OP tier. Bleed Out is a rank 1 to rank 1 bleed attack, dealing 4 to 8 damage, 6 to 9 on upgrade, and dealing a 4-point bleed, 6 on upgrade. The upgrade also eats combo for bleed piercing, which is kind of a waste of a combo, especially since you mostly only run this skill on Berserker. It also gives you a winded token. This skill is so pathetic in a number of ways. The damage is minimal compared to basically anything else you can do from this rank, and it's stupidly restrictive. The bleed can be nice, but the bleed really isn't that great given the absurd cost of a winded token and the fact that to scale this move, you have to go to the worst region, the Shroud. There's rarely a time where you'd want to run this over Howling End and actually have more options and more consistent nukes, unless you're running arguably worst path Berserker and just spamming this nonsense on a boss or something. It can be strong in that specific scenario, and if you cater your bleed team around it, and is the only real way to get your carcass to do damage if that's what you want, but I still can't justify this any higher than the top of the trash heap when in direct comparison to her other abilities. Bloodlust is a self-buff usable from the front 3 ranks that removes your winded and gives you a 20% buff against bleeding targets, 30% on upgrade. The buff portion of the skill is pure useless trash. Let's get that out of the way first. It's almost always better to just swing than spend a turn casting this and applying a bleed with someone else, and you can just howl and obliterate what you want on turn 1 instead. However, this is still a useful little skill as your only consistent source of winded clear besides upgraded toe. Obviously, there are almost no scenarios where you keep this on your bar after toe gets this upgrade, which is often in 1, but it still slots cleanly in the solid tier for this utility alone. Breakthrough is a bad and unfunny meme, a front 3 AoE usable from the back 3 rows, dealing 1 to 2 damage, 2 to 3 on upgrade, moving her forward 1, while winding her for some reason, with a 1-turn cooldown. On upgrade, it also removes guard, which literally never matters. No matter the multiple ways you can try to justify this joke with complex trinket setups, this is always bad and has never been unironically equipped by a sane human. Among the most shameful inventions Red Hook has ever had, it's earned its spot at the bottom of the trash tier. Raucous Revelry is usable from any rank. If Hellion is below 33% HP, this will heal her 20%, 25% on upgrade, as well as removing 2 stress, 3 on upgrade, from her if she has hit the threshold of 5. It also removes her horror, and it also removes 1 stress from each party member at or above the stress threshold of 5. On upgrade, it also provides Hellion with a 10% DBR increase. This has a 1-turn cooldown and gives Hellion a winded token. This is almost always a situational equip, unless you're running Carcass. The self-heal is obviously badly outclassed by Rush, and the winded basically takes you out of the fight for little benefit. The party stress healer is nice in theory, but only removing 1 stress from the party means they all stay above the negative mark threshold of 4, making it terrible compared to other stress heals in the game. Its only purpose, outside of Carcass equip because Carcass does nothing anyways, is to help recover from a particularly bad fight. It's certainly nice in this role, and fits in the solid tier for sure, above Bloodlust. And finally we have Howling End, an absolutely stupid single target melee attack. It's usable from the front 2 ranks against the front 2 ranks. It does 8 to 14 damage, an absurd 10 to 18 on upgrade, while ignoring block and guard on upgrade. It causes winded, and has a long 3-turn cooldown, only 2 when mastered. One word defines this move: action economy. Open with this in any standard fight, and you almost always take a piece off the board in 1 swing, giving you an easy early advantage. This somehow becomes even stronger in tougher fights, with the high base damage making it easy to scale with things like Ravager Path, Strength tokens, Damage trinkets, and of course crit and Vaunt tokens that can boost this baby up above 100 with some planning. Not a lot to say. This is why you run Hellion, this is why you rush your final shrine, and this is the easiest way to obliterate road fights and bosses alike, especially as one of only a handful of block-piercing nukes. Always equip, easily sits atop the OP tier as among the best attacks and overall skills in the game. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos every day. And join my Patreon in the description for early ad-free access to all my videos.